Inquiry is continuing with its work of investigating if there is or was any interference in prosecuting apartheid-era atrocities. Thus far, the Commission has heard from 8 witnesses. Testifying on day 1 of the public hearings, Simelane said her family's journey has been a long and difficult one with the democratic state that had promised so much after the TRC processes failed them.
We feel betrayed. I feel betrayed myself as well. The state has betrayed us. I'd hope the old system may not do anything, but I'd hope that the new system will at least give me the truth, which is what the TRC promised us. Nothing else, just the truth.
Simelane described the runaround the family was subjected to, including 7 years of no progress despite the case being categorized a priority. Eventually, in 2010, when an investigator was initially appointed, it emerged that the docket prepared years earlier had vanished. It was then found 2 years later.
I was disappointed, but I also felt like there were some tricks and games that were being played behind the scenes.
And it was time for Lukhanyo Calata.
The government had violated our rights of human dignity by failing to serve us perhaps with one of the most basic tenets of any society, which was justice.
Lukhanyo is the son of Fort Calata, one of the Cradock 4 who were assassinated by the apartheid regime 41 years ago. He points an accused finger at the ANC, specifically former President Thabo Mbeki, for the case remaining in limbo.
The TRC handed over its reports. It handed those reports over to former President Thabo Mbeki, not to anyone else. It handed it over to him as the president of this republic. What did he do about it? What did his organization do about it? What does his government do about it?
Former President Jacob Zuma was not left out.
I despise politicians. I really do. I think they're like the scum of the earth. Really, like, genuinely. I've got no issues against political activists because my father was a political activist. But politicians, they say one thing and they do a complete other. I heard in this commission here where former President Jacob Zuma as well, where he's mentioned to you directly, commissioners, said that, oh no, they understand the plight of the victims' families and all of those kinds of things. But yet, they fight tooth and nail to stop the proceedings of this commission.
In a testimony, former TRC Commissioner Yasmin Suka said that there was a strong sense that those in power were at pains to give perpetrators of the human rights violation the opportunity to escape accountability.
An urgent application to interdict President Mbeki from using the pardons process. And again, we had to argue that this special dispensation that the President was using was again an impermissible rerun of the TRC's amnesty process. Only in this instance, it was being done quite secretly.
Jacob van der Merwe also had his turn. He has urged the TRC Cases Commission to apply the principle of equality before the law in its work. Van der Merwe's father was a farmer who was murdered in November 1978 in the now Limpopo province, allegedly by 4 members of one of the ANC's Umkhonto weSizwe units.
The authorities, for whatever reason, may have delayed or deliberately stalled investigation and obviously then shielding these perpetrators.
Africa also took the stand with its CEO, Gali Kriel, saying more should have been done to probe the so-called ANC 37 for apartheid-era human rights violations. The ANC 37 refers to a group of senior leaders of the ANC that took collective responsibility for misdeeds committed by the party's members but were refused amnesty on the basis that they failed to disclose information on specific acts.
This is exactly our point. Here you had the ANC 37 taking responsibility, not getting amnesty and not being prosecuted.
Meanwhile, as proceedings continue, two former Presidents Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma still wants the chairperson to recuse herself, citing bias on her part. They have taken chairperson Justice Sisika Mpempe's refusal to recuse herself from the inquiry on judicial review. Nhlanhla Khatlane, SABC News, Johannesburg.